myself. All right.
Surgery stream too.
Yeah, it's only the truth. I only speak the truth. Okay, see how it goes today. Announced, less time before, in the middle of the week, Americans might be, at work or something. But we'll try. Give it a try. So, hello, baby.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good now that you're also doing better.
I'm glad. Tony 420, Toke Bowls. What up, Theo? I'm at work. Haha. What up? Yeah, so he is at work. See? Chef says, what surgery was it? Well, go catch up in the video, man. Oh, so now people just showed up. I say, like the stream, guys. It's great. Let me know if the audio is good and stuff like that. No, what I had, it's called anal abscess. Yeah, I had an infection in my butt. Yeah, I had to remove pus, basically. It was terrible. I made a video about it. And yeah, I'm milking this. You know, I get to do all the ass jokes now when I've gone through this ass ordeal. So when you have a level 99 butt, I mean, level 99 masculine man, I guess I do. Yes, I do. Took a hit. What do you think, baby?
Yeah.
So we're on, have a few people on Instagram too. You can talk Instagram if someone is there. You can ask questions. I'm gonna get to those also. Like the stream if you haven't, guys. We have some pre-collected questions. I'm just right now waiting a little bit. I mean, people came in, but you see, give it a little bit more time.
Ah, you see. Okay, I see the number now. Yeah.
Yeah. What does it say here? Oh. It's like YouTube has these features. It's like it's trying to push towards me doing stuff. Dirt bike racing season is about to start for me. Time to shred. Tony 420 says, yeah, man. So do you bulk otherwise, or do you just smoke too much weed? Or I eat weed, I guess it was, if I recall, and eat too much stuff. I know, but yeah, go get it, man. Chefs ask, uncommon wife, would you press a button? It's 1% chance Theo dies, but 99% you get $1 billion. I mean,
what in the world is this question?
I know what you would say.
I would never ever press that button ever.
No, let's say it's 100% chance you get $1 billion, but I die.
You're making it worse. No, I don't want it.
Emma here says beta question, lol.
Yes,
it's fun. But the thing is, I like chefs, so that's why I'm not going too hard at him for this. More people, can you like the stream, please?
No, but it's nice that he asked the question.
We appreciate questions, and thing is, he's kind of trollish, this guy, so it's not like he's serious with that, of course. I don't understand the YouTube numbers. It was as 14, now it went to 7. Now the likes go up. It's like I never believe this number fully. Yeah, it's just for fun, he says. Yeah, we know, man. Yeah. We know. I guess, I mean, I can just take one because we're not going to be able to answer this one properly anyway. I got one that was, how did you handle things as a couple when there's turbulence in the relationship? Thanks, big bro. So you can say something about that. But what I'll say is that, we're doing it like this now, that we can talk as a couple and our insight just as the people we are. But when it comes to our story in that, it's like we're waiting, we have a plan. And the thing about our thing is that when we first met, there was like zero turbulence. There was some very difficult things that went down. So there was a lot of turbulence. And now when that is sort of like behind us, there's like no turbulence again. So it's a little, since we haven't just like dated normally, got into a relationship, honeymoon, and then some conflicts started arising, we haven't really had that. It's like a different question to a couple like us with our history. So I won't say too much about that right now, because you're going to hear about turbulence.
Yeah.
But do you have any quick or short thought about that?
Well, for me, the main thing is that the way that, or let's say the best way that turbulences were dealt with was when I listened to you
Mm-hmm.
and when I followed you.
Mm-hmm.
And then things would always get better and always be solved. Whenever I did do that, things would get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, that I appreciate that, but it goes both ways, because sometimes I didn't quite listen to you either. Like, you would say certain things like, I can't do this, and maybe I think that you can, but I'm in a way maybe not listening to how you feel about the situation completely. So I started listening also, in a way. I'd say this before we move on. One thing that's with turbulence, what I think is very difficult is, my girl here, she is so soft and sweet, and I don't have to be like hard on you, like generally. And we went through very difficult times, and there were some times when I would have needed to put my foot down, but I couldn't quite, because more out of empathy than anything. And something I've learned is that as a man, especially as a person overall, but especially as a man, you gotta be able to, like, how should I say, do the right thing, even when the right thing makes you feel like you're like mean. Like, if you know that, but this is true though, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be whatever.
yeah.
So, because that's one thing, I try to sometimes like kind of almost protect you from the truth, but it's more like, no, the truth is what you needed. So yeah, no, oh, let's see.
Wow, there's quite some stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So when will we get NH style story time? So natural hypertrophy. Well, one video like that, and then I never followed up on it really, but that could be a thing. We'll see. It keeps changing for me right now, where I'm like thinking about the future. So I just have to let things settle a bit. But I'm very creative right now. I've done quite a few things the last few days, so we'll see. I'll take the chat questions later. So you had some questions too, yeah?
Yes, so you want me to start off with those?
Yeah, you
Because
take one of them, any you want.
there was one very interesting one by, let me see, because I wrote it down here.
Mm.
Yeah. By Helen3560 on Instagram. And she asks, okay, so she basically says that she's been in a relationship for 9 years with her boyfriend and he hasn't proposed yet, even though he knows very well that she would like, or that she wants to be married, and they already live together. And she asks both of us what we think of that and how to deal with that situation.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that occurs to me is like, do you know what, like, you, the person asking the question, like, do you know what he thinks of it? Like, does he want to get married, or does he want to propose? Because this is the thing, it shouldn't have to be like this in relationships, that you're like guessing. Like, I've expressed that I want to get engaged, we've been together 9 years, but he doesn't do anything. It's like, okay, have you asked him why? Have you talked about it? Because I think people, even in relationships, many times it's like they're trying to figure the other person out instead of just talking to them. And even you will get some answers if he's being all vague and unclear. That's also a sort of answer. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not the person that use like the word ultimatum or something. But of course, if this is something you want and you've been together for this long and the guy doesn't act, I mean, you have to ask him. You have to be clear also that, hey, it's not a threat, because we never want to do power moves that if you don't engage, leaving, or not something like that. But it can be the truth, though, that I want to get married, so I need to know if this is going to happen or not, if I should try to think about moving on, or if this is something I can invest in. Yeah. So yeah, I would say talk to him and like confront, but I don't mean as in necessarily like, hey, put him against the wall. Talk about it with him. That's what I'd say.
I agree fully.
Mm.
And that's true. Like there is some important information missing from that question. But guessing that maybe it has been talked about, if she says that he knows very well that she wants to be married.
Yeah.
I
But does she know very well what he wants?
That's yeah. I guess if you're 9 years with someone and you haven't sat down to actually talk about that, even though there is this expectation, yeah, there needs to be a talk ASAP, because you cannot really negotiate the type of proposal she wants, this out of nowhere, or it's serious. You cannot negotiate that. She won't be ever happy even if it happens after such a talk, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a
No, but of course, a thing like this, you'd always give a better answer if you actually, talk to the woman that asked the question and ask some questions back and stuff.
Yeah.
But generally, I would say that you need to ask him. You need to come to him and ask him.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. You had one more, or
Yeah. I had another question that has to do with cooking and where I learned how to cook, which is a cute question. It's by, wait, I wrote this down as well. 23O 23O conviction. So where did I learn how to cook? I was just always very interested in that. My mother is not really a cook or an enthusiast or any sort of baker, homemaker. I just like to cook because it relaxes me, and I like to feed the people that I love.
Yeah.
And I like to make it pretty, and I like to make it very tasty. I don't think I have a cooking talent. I'm not very good at coming up with new things or being creative. I'm very good at just doing things that I know, recipes that I know, and it calms me down. And how I learned how to cook is just I was interested, and I taught myself and researched stuff. So
yeah, and it's always like that. This is what I always talk about. Of course, you can do research, cooking recipes, or how do I do this? When especially when it's more like precise what you have to do. But then, of course, I mean, the cooking I can do, no one has fucking taught me anything. It's like I've just done it. And some things you just learn after a while that, okay, it takes about this long. Now I burnt the bacon last time. Now, okay, I should, around this time, I should expect it to be done, or whatever, Of course, you learn from doing. No, but that's one thing I think is very nice about you, because I think so often the conversation is like, why should I have to cook for a man or something? Like, have to? No, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be a miserable bitch by yourself.
I don't know if I'm audible. Should I put the microphone on?
You can take it closer to you if you move away. Yeah.
Because what you're saying, that I think it's like an honor to cook
Is there a light on it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's an honor to cook for your man and to feed him well and to give him food that he loves and that he likes to just see and also eat and looks forward to. That's also very important.
Yeah.
So what type of attitude is that? Oh, I don't want to cook for my man. I'm not his mother.
But why should I have to? It's like have to.
You don't have to.
No, exactly. I mean, like many things. Why would I have to? Why would you do that? It's like, well, I want to. I'm a nice person. I can do nice things for the people I care about. I want to do nice things. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah. I guess it's an indoctrination, and a thing like cooking, cleaning. It's like, oh no, these are these oppressed woman things.
And it's like, if that's how it is to be oppressed, let me be oppressed.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I have some more. I mean, I'll take the long one now. So it was about the video when it was a comment on the video where coming clean about roids in my butt cheek, hemorrhoids. Okay, it's a play on words, but yeah, the guy said, like, not gonna lie, the title had me lol, and I said, huge respect though, honestly, like the way you said, you just accept what's happening ASAP. Basically, don't waste energy fighting reality. It sounds simple, but it's actually insanely hard to do when you're in excruciating pain. Scared, sleep deprived, all that. So real stoic energy for real, brother. Also, gotta say, respect to your girl. I think that situation would scare off a lot of people. It's messy, hospital stuff, pain, etc. The fact she stayed right there and didn't make it weird says a lot about you two. W girlfriend, 100%. If you ever feel like talking about it, I'd honestly watch a whole vid on how you guys handled that as a couple. Like, how do you even get comfortable with your partner seeing you like that? So that's more from me. Was there awkward moments at all, or did it just happen and you both roll with it? Asking because my own girl would never want to be around something like that. Like, zero chance. I probably wouldn't even tell her what's going on. I just say I'm sick/busy and deal with it alone, which, yeah, typing that out feels kind of depressing, but it is what it is. Would rather suffer in silence than feel judged or gross or whatever. So yeah, if you and your girl ever want to drop some advice on how to be that comfortable with each other when things get ugly, and not just cute Instagram couple vibes, I think a lot of us dudes could use that. Like, how to build that level of trust where you don't have to hide when you're at your lowest. Anyway, respect again, man. Blah, blah. Yeah, that he wishes me well. It was a nice comment. So I responded to him. So I prefer if you say something first. Yes, I guess what he asked, like, how how did you handle that as a couple? Was there awkward moments? Did it just happen and you both roll with it? What would you say from your side?
Okay, first of all, should I just put this here?
Give it.
Don't eat it yet because it's very hot.
Okay, thank you.
And this because it's sticky.
Yeah.
So yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for the kind words. I'm quite flattered.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that there was not one single moment of awkwardness, and I have not really ever felt any sort of awkwardness with you or around you, apart from obviously when, you know, after I've had like a panicky situation.
Sure.
But there was not a single like not once did I feel like, oh, like this has to do with his ass or with just never, not once, because I just genuinely love him and I feel like I want to care for him, and the predominant feeling was worry and just, and also very much a shift in that situation in me to do what I can to solve it or to make him feel better. So there wasn't any room to feel embarrassment or awkwardness at all. It was all like, okay, he's suffering, he's in pain, we need to take care of that. And absolutely, like, we have opened up to each other so much about everything.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible to feel embarrassment.
No,
especially not about bodily things.
No, I mean, you can always find that, oh, I was a bit more like self-conscious about this particular thing than I thought or something, but across the board, yeah. But before I say anything more, I think the perspective this guy is coming from, that I think a lot of men feel, is more like, for example, I could ask you this, like, how did you feel seeing your man like weak like this, you know, in a weakened state? Because there's a big fear of men to appear weak, but especially appear weak to a woman. Yeah.
But you didn't appear weak to me at all, even when you were completely demobilized. I didn't see you as weak. I saw you as like injured. I think there's a very big difference between weak and like injured, or because I knew that it was nothing weak about you, because you're never like you're not a weak man. So the impression that I have of you in general is just, I don't think the right thing is to answer about how we dealt in that situation, how we dealt with each other or how we saw that. It's just how we are in general.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
Exactly. You know? That it's more that, like, how come you deal with it so well would be, but you know, you can still use his question and explain it. Yeah. No, but I think we're being weak too. It's two things. It's both like what is the interpretation, what is interpreted as weak, and I would say that the same like sort of surface thing could be both weak or not. Like, say, a man crying. Yeah, if he is like crying over every little thing all the time and he's super emotional, okay, that's kind of too weak, too soft for a man. While if I am stoic, happy, and move around about my doing my stuff, and then I don't know, my God forbid, you know, my family, someone passes away or something, and I'm now very sad and I cry over this. Am I displaying weakness or I'm displaying fucking humanity? You know, so I think that's the thing. If you are strong and you that's how you carry yourself generally, and now something like this happens to you, when it's just like you say, it's an injury. It's not me that has done something, or even if I had done something, I'm stupid, I have an accident, but now I'm hurt and I'm in pain. Is having pain weak? No, I don't think so.
And also with this whole ordeal that he went through, that you went through, you weren't weak about it at all. Like you were so tough that I knew you were in pain, but I didn't realize until the doctor, how you said in your video, until I saw like how you reacted to just the examination, just completely peripheral touching, that I was absolutely shocked by it. So this made me realize even more that there was absolutely no weakness to this one. Like, would you say that someone who's crying over a broken femur is weak?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
No, exactly. I will see again what he said. Like, yeah, I guess he said, like, how do you even get comfortable with your partner seeing you like that? I mean, I think it has both to do with how comfortable you are with yourself and each other. Because I think in my personal case, what I felt about this was, I'm sure that Theo 10 years ago, something like this, it would feel quite embarrassing. Still, sometimes though, when things are just bad enough, it's kind of like, embarrassed. Well, I mean, fucking, I can't think about that, But I think I'm myself mature enough now that it's like, yeah, okay, it's in the ass. I'm gonna be joking about it too, yeah. But it is what it is. I'm in terrible pain, so I'm comfortable with just being open about it, because I'm so uncomfortable. It's like, what can I do? Yeah. It's like there's just nothing. There's no opposing voice to the voice of reason that, yeah, well, obviously just do whatever you can to get by. And if it's communicating with the people around you to help you, yeah. But then last thing before we move on from this, because I told this guy some things personally in a response also, but that's, we have shared, we've been very vulnerable with each other about many things that are more difficult than this, I would say, from both of our sides. So when through intimacy, when you really shared, being yourself, not just the parts that you like to show, but many other things so much, then it's like when something like this happens, I put that in a post about you yesterday. It was the last thing I worried about, that something would be like off with you in this. I knew that you would. I just thought the opposite. Like, oh, well, she's here. That's nice. She can go get me some things. And yeah. So.
Oh, exactly. And it's like the keyword that you dropped, intimacy. It's what I shared the other day on Instagram, that it's not sexual stuff. Intimacy is really just seeing each other and being so close that there's no room for any sort of embarrassment like that. Because for me also, it's like, if you're with someone you want to spend your life with, like, I know, for example, when I give birth, you will see me in a situation that's going to be like terrible, So it's like, how could there be room for embarrassment for these things? Not at all.
Yeah. No, but it just shows, because this guy sounds like a good guy too, how much we go around caring what other people think and stuff still. It's to the degree that's like, well, the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, it's kind of like, well, even if it's in your ass, right? You you want to be able to share if you're going through something very difficult, right? So
yeah, and it's, as I told you, whatever it would have been, and also whatever would have been needed for recovery, I wouldn't have, like, not one single thought of.
I mean, you would change my diapers if you had to.
Yeah, I would change I would, like, clean you. I would do anything.
Yeah, I know. Supposed to be like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we could keep like not spiraling. How do you say, like a fractal on that one? But let's move on. So here, yeah. How does it feel to share your space and daily rhythm with someone else now? Does it make your routine feel more stable? So,
very cool question.
It is a cool question. Yeah, we've talked about this, that both of us are kind of like, we're extroverted. We like people and talking to people. We're often gonna, even if we're by ourselves going in stores, and we're gonna end up having little interactions and stuff like this, work with people and so on. We're also people that are quite independent and like our own company. And I am the kind of person that even people that I like, my space, my apartment, I'm quite protective over. Like, even people that I like, I'm a little like bothered when they're coming over. And when they leave, even if I didn't like want them, like was like, oh, can I just leave? There's still some degree of like, now it's just me again. and that's been the theme with us, that ever since living with you, it felt natural so fast. And I've never, all the times when you've left, I've only immediately missed you a lot and just felt like, no, there's nothing better about this. So it's great to have someone, because I realize someone can, of course, be like too closed off, so that they keep people away for like bad reasons. But it can just be if you have a very particular way of living, being, and there's so few people that sync well with that even people that you like many times, they don't quite fit with your way of being, especially in your space. Yeah. And that's so great with finding someone that's like, no, we are so aligned that even now when we've done some separate stuff here to just coexisting, it goes so well. So it's been great. What I would say that on the does it make your routine feel more stable, um, I would say not that it's unstable, but because we haven't been living to it's new enough. So finding a bit of a routine on certain things like work and that I wouldn't say it's unstable. I would just say that I haven't quite found complete structure for it yet. But that's not something I see as like a problem. It's just like, yeah, when something is new somehow, whether you go to a new place or something changes, um, yeah, there's a little bit of just adjusting and finding structure.
Yeah, and also I think. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm finished with my.
It's also the times that I've been here have been times where I've been off work.
Mm,
So of course it's going to be a bit difficult to answer this when we haven't. I mean, okay, we were in Zurich together when I was away for some hours, but yeah, I cannot imagine that a routine is going to be something that we will have difficulty finding, because
yeah,
we just solve whatever is to be solved, and we cherish and love spending time with each other so much that it's. But yes, living together is, both of us have been people that have very much liked living alone.
Yeah.
Have spent years being alone and living alone. So I think it's quite cool that we just love
yeah,
living together.
exactly.
Yeah.
Twin flame. Yeah.
Flame.
I realized when you showered here, that's like, oh, that's the first other person that other people have been here, but first other person to shower here. Okay, here, what's the dynamic like living with someone who's an athlete like you? Do you find that you motivate each other, or do you prefer to keep your training headspace separate? Then, kind of relate the question from same person: do you guys ever train together, or do you have completely different styles and schedules? So the thing is, you can say something about that, but you've had a medical situation that has forced you to kind of pause training. So we have yet to kind of sync and train together and things. However, just like, so my girl here is a singer, professional singer, and I have a kind of semi-professional singing background. So it's kind of cool that while I'm not at her level at all, I know quite a bit. So I'm quite good at her thing, and we have a little bit of the inverse thing going with the training. That I obviously do this as part of my living, so I push it further. But you've been quite serious too, so it's just cool that you definitely haven't lost all the gains, and you're gonna get back to it. But know that you both know what I'm talking about if I talk, and that you're interested, right?
And that I can learn from you in something that I'm interested in. So that when you say things, or when you talk about different exercises and different just positions, machines, whatever, that I like to hear that, and I learn from it.
Yeah.
And it's the same for you with the singing, of course. And like today, and we were talking about technique.
Yeah. Passaggio, everything. Yeah, and when I say, because it's related, wasn't mentioned about diet, but it is nice. It's great when you have in this modern society where, especially living in a city, it's more like minimizing the degree of being poisoned. Actually, the challenge, and many people's diets are either random or just complete garbage, and to live with someone that's very synced on how we view that with nutrition and diet, and that you cook so good food that like not only according to my taste preference but health preference. That is pretty cool to not have to deal with that. you're always the odd one out otherwise. And I don't mean that I feel like, oh, I'm alone in this. I just literally mean that you cannot expect people to cater to like, oh, my tallow fries or something, you know. So that I think is pretty great too.
Yeah, and it's because of my background in being very much active in fitness and tracking and bulking, cutting, whatever. It's also something that I look forward to catering to your needs when you have to cut or when you know, I mean, bulking is not a problem.
Yeah, not the problem. And by the way, we both do the fasting too, and we have been fasting at the same time stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think there's quite a bit in the chat now, so I'm just gonna try to finish these. I have 3 more here. Have you ever talked about working on a project together or coaching as a team? Do you think your professional styles would complement each other? So we've definitely talked. I mean, we are already. That's the nature of the sort of relationship that we have. That even if it's not direct, like, oh, I'm going to be in the same production as you in music, or like now you're on the stream here, but we do help and support each other in those things already. But I understand the more direct thing. The main thing we talked about is, of course, like a podcast, like this, what we're doing now, but more structured and, of course, like regular and that. And this is an idea we had for a long time, the sort of husband and wife podcast, like talk about relationship, get both for men and women, different relationship. Doesn't only have to be relationships, of course, but yeah, a podcast is one thing. I can see us doing all kinds of things. So
yeah, and also us collaborating together in the sense that we've also already talked about and that I've started, like me doing a bit of the background and admin stuff for you, like for like the merge that we're thinking of.
Exactly, that's very helpful.
Put how do you say it in streaming? Put 1 in the chat if you want merch.
Yeah, put the 1 in the chat if you want merch. Like the stream, guys. Maybe send a super chat to support super couple here.
Super couple.
What's your favorite part of a new daily routine with her? My favorite part. I mean, I'll say this because there are many things that are great with living. I mean, I have to say that as a person that, again, has lived by themselves so much and for the most part likes that, I do like a lot that I'm way less by myself, and I like it, not because I'm like forced to live, be roommates with someone or something like that. But if I had to say it like that, because of course I don't love you because you give me food, but it is for me that I am just, let's put it this way, when it comes to diet, I am disciplined more in that I will adhere to a strict diet, that I can eat very like boring foods. The actual discipline part for me though is to always go get the food, buy the food, prepare the food, cook the food, make sure I eat everything on schedule like this. That it's I don't. The difference between you and me is that I don't enjoy this, especially when it's just for me. I mean, I'm sure you think it's more fun to cook for other people than yourself too.
For sure, yeah.
But so
I eat ingredients when I'm on my own.
No, exactly. But that's same. No, but so I do like a lot that I freaking because I think about it all the time. What do I have in the? What should I get when I go to the gym? Or oh, I miss this. I need to get this. I can let go of that completely, and food is just taking care of me. If we're talking about the daily routine, one of my favorite parts is that I don't have to freaking think about food basically at all. More as a guest, that sometimes like, oh, what is your preference about this? The food is just made for me. That's and it's so good too. So it's pretty incredible. Do you have any favorite parts?
Difficult because I literally love everything about living with you and being close to you. So yeah, 24/7.
No, but that's what I mean. That's just living with you is my favorite part. But if I have to pick something a bit, like I say sometimes mechanical or a little bit like robotic, like what component? It's like, well, I don't like cooking. It's very nice that I don't have to do it. Yeah.
For me, something specific that I love is sleeping next to you.
I thought you were gonna say that. Yeah.
Just sleeping next to you is great.
I love it too, but you get a bit more than me, that you relax more and sleep better.
Yeah.
I sleep pretty well with you, but not really better. And I sleep all right by myself too, you know. So I thought you were gonna say that. Okay, the last one here before we get to the chat. How do you manage to find your own quiet time or blank space when living with someone else who is also so active? So that's the interesting part, that I've yet to feel that I need something like that. uh, it's like, how do you manage to? I'm sure that if I said that I'm a bit tired, I need some quiet or something, that you would just give me that.
Exactly.
But I think quiet time, it's like you have to do, even if you, when you've been here, don't have work as in like long rehearsals and stuff, but you still have to do some practice. I have some work outside the home, so I will have to go outside, and maybe even if I like to be with you and I don't actively stay, maybe I'd like instead of rushing back to you, go on a little walk home, and that, and yeah, I get a little moment for myself or something. So I guess what I'm saying is that I already get some time away from you regardless, and I don't, right now, I don't feel like I need anything more.
And it's, I think, because we both understand each other so well,
Mm,
and because we also both like spending time with ourselves
mm,
and have interest in ourselves, that we would and we do understand if the other person just wants to chill and read something or watch something,
yeah,
and not like as we did yesterday as well. I
mm,
had to go through my stuff, you did your stuff.
yeah,
So it's just we communicate, and it's
yeah.
so. But very nice question.
And I think that's a nice thing. Before we move, we're gonna get to the chat again now. Um, but I think that's the nice thing when you don't, because sometimes I can feel that need. Otherwise, that I need the, I want to be by myself. Right? I don't want anyone around. But when you're synced enough that you can be by yourself around each other, like that you're talking about, that you're doing your thing here and me here, maybe we'll say something. But for the most part, like, no, I don't need you to be completely gone. And I guess one last point is that I don't have anything like so secret or something that I like. That's again with the intimacy. I don't want to keep. It's a goal for me that, of course, I close the freaking door if I go take a shit. but it's like, if let's say the door is gone for some reason, I would like to feel that I can do whatever with it. Then it's, oh, I want her to leave. So yeah,
Yeah. Is there a question you can answer
yeah,
yourself so that I'm
yeah.
put the
You go
cake?
for it. Should I try this that you brought me? So tell
Yeah.
tell us what this
This
is.
is feta and filo dough
Mm-hmm.
with sesame and honey. So it's salty and sweet.
Yeah. So it looks nicer because I have a shitty web camera. It looks prettier well, in reality. So let me try this. You said honey on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm, mm, yeah. I just don't want to be munching on the entire thing now, but that's nice.
I brought you the wet wipe
Oh,
because it's sticky.
you're great. Like the stream if you haven't, guys. Maybe send a super chat. Mm, mm. Hello from Cyprus.
Oh,
Hello, King of the Castle.
Cyprus, brother.
Mm.
Espera.
I'm gonna go start at the start by him. Cole 777 said, how do you deal with lust in a long-term committed relationship? I think you have sex with each other, or
Yeah.
Mm, have to be more specific. So let's see, where were we? There are many questions from chefs, I think. Here's an obvious one for Uncommon Wife, very short one. Would you rather be vegan or carnivore?
Absolutely carnivore. I mean, I mostly fast lately, but my diet is animal based anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
carnivore for sure. I don't think either of those are healthy to be on long term.
Mm,
Even though I do believe that an elimination diet that is carnivorous, like the lion diet, is very beneficial for especially autoimmune diseases.
mm,
However, yeah, like the balance is key,
mm.
but veganism is shit.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. No, we both kind of agree that animal foods are the central ones, but then why pick? I understand for the question, like what would you rather be?
Mm.
But that's what my question for both of those people.
Mm.
Like, why pick? Take the best of both. Um, question for both of you: how much water do you drink a day? Well, how much water have you drank today?
Zero.
She's dry fasting right now. I mean, I don't keep track of my water intake. I think it's not to diss you here, but I think it's so silly. It's like like I always say, okay, when you're dry fasting, you're resisting, of course. But otherwise, you've been given the ability to tell if you're thirsty. It says you listen to that. Um, I think, I'm sure there are some people that accidentally get too dehydrated, but most of the time, not really. Not that it can be like a huge issue, at least. You're going to notice it before it's a huge issue that you didn't drink. So, and I'll say this, in the winter, sometimes on some days, I barely sweat. It's like, obviously, I'm not going to need as much water on that day as like in the summer. If I'm going walking outside, sweating all the time, I'm going to like more than double my water intake. So I'd say anything between like 2 and 5, 6 liters, depending on the circumstances, yeah.
Of course.
Or 0 in dry fasting.
And also depends on how wet the food is that you eat.
That too. That's the thing people forget,
Yeah.
that there's, of course, a lot of water in food. Okay, I'll pick question while you're...
Yeah.
So, here. Theo, do you agree with this? Better to ask a dumb question than to say nothing at all. I mean, that's contextual. I think if you are listening to someone to learn and you don't understand, then you have to ask. And then it's not dumb because you don't know yet. And even if you ask a dumb, quote unquote, question, it's then the person you ask it is going to be revealed that. I feel like that sometimes when I get a question, not always that they're dumb. Like sometimes I feel like people are lazy, like, come on, you could be more specific or include, don't make me like dig out what you actually are asking. But if sometimes someone asks something and you can kind of hear in the question that you like the premise of the question is kind of wrong, but that's fine, let me tell you, I can see what you need to know from what you said. So you see what I mean? If you're just an asshole that just keeps asking stuff and you're not going to do anything about it, it's like, no, please just be quiet then. But if you are listening to someone to learn and you don't understand something, you got to try. And then no questions are dumb. If you just have that humility that, oh, I might seem a little dumb, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, that's why you're here. Matrix Invader has bad news. That pain in my ass, it wasn't from surgery. Okay. Have you done something? Are you homosexual that broke into my home, sedated me or something? It seems like it. Looks like it in the picture. Chefs, if I have a girlfriend and it's 99% chance $1 billion or 1% she dies, it's win-win for me. Joking. Yeah. Okay, I'll save this one until you are here. Let's see. Tony for 20 Tokables. My ex-wife told me she wishes we could start over. I don't think she meant that. I don't know if I would try again. I mean, when I to say anything about what I think, I'd had to know more, of course. But it's like, I don't think she meant that. Why don't you think so? She wishes you could start over. I don't know if I would try again. Well, you can always have a conversation. That's the thing. I'm not saying you now, it's just what I start thinking about. Sometimes people, it's like they before had to make up their mind. Like, would I get into it or not? Well, maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you could have that conversation. I mean, I would think it's very nice when people have separated if they manage to find their way back together. I don't think it's the right thing to do in all cases. I'm just saying that, yeah, you don't, okay, she told you that. You don't have to know what you think about that right now. Rayman, when can we expect the post-penis stream? Post-penis? Meaning when I become a woman? Well, next incarnation. Chefs. Okay, no, let's see. Yep. Nero Smith. I'm going to get the questions I'm glossing over now. I'll get back to when she's back here. Swedish couple are wholesome. Shine on, you blonde diamonds. Well, she's not blonde or Swedish, but thank you. Chefs, question for you. You don't have to say for what, but will you vote in 2026? I just realized recently that there's an election this year. and I used to be very into politics. So the thing is, I might vote, but I don't think it matters at all. Like, I don't believe in the system whatsoever. So, I just throw the vote on the populist party if I do vote, just just to have some sense that maybe I can at least stir the pot somehow. But I don't even believe in that. Sweden Democrats would be the main choice in Sweden, right? I don't feel like they're like my party, or that they're voting for them is going to change so much. So I might end up going and voting, but I also don't really care much for it. Um, Yeah, there's some interesting here. Saves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nekas Visagalis. Nekas, it's a girl, I think. I think so. Yo, my guy, what happened? Long time no see. I love singing too. She says, I think it's she, if I recall right.
Nice.
It's like, I wonder if it's the same person, or it's like some people are trying to get me riled up with this. Oh, is it true Theo took it up the ass? What the fuck? Gay jokes. Yeah, I should be straight and be anonymous and sit and talk shit to real people online. Deep state Sweden. Time to go natural now. Yeah, I'll have to. I no longer have roids in my butt cheek, so. Hmm?
I am back.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go up again there. So we're gonna continue at the end. I'll just go back to the ones we missed or I skipped. If no, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to say this one when you were here. Thoughts on the Epstein files. It's scary what the elite do. Maybe it's best to just focus on our small little circles and our own worlds? Question mark.
Exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on the Epstein files? I mean, those of us who have been into the quote unquote conspiracy theory like tracks knew about this stuff or feared this stuff years ago.
Mm.
Pizzagate, like everything that WikiLeaks had already shown,
Mm.
So unfortunately, it was no surprise, but it was still a shock.
Mm.
And how gruesome everything is and how disgusting those people are, like literal Satanists. But yeah, the answer is in that question. All you can do is focus on your community and your family and what you do in your life, and yeah, keep away from politics and from the governments.
Yeah, it's like what I'd say is that only consume as much news and politics as you actually can handle, But I mean that some people really get anxious and worried, but some people, they might feel like they handle it well, but then because of looking too much at certain things, you're walking around with certain filters and ideas in your head all the time. So, because I barely follow news. Like Epstein files, for instance, I have not. It's actually one of few things lately that I felt like maybe I'll actually go take a moment to really dig into it. But like most things, if you are on social media, and if you work on social media, you're gonna see some things. So what I see, I have this like general big picture view of things. I know, and I agree with everything you said, and. Yeah, it's scary what they do. It's unfortunately at this point not surprising. I think what makes me happy is just that things are coming out more and more in the open.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to be like all conspiracy theorists. It's because it's all the time. What was a crazy conspiracy theory a few years ago is true today, and it just keeps happening. So
yeah, and all that I have to say about this is for everyone to stop worshiping celebrities, stop believing in politicians of any direction, of any wing, right wing, left wing. They're all in it together, and just really focus on what you can do in your life and be good in your life, and have a very healthy relationship to your community and your family, and make lots of babies and raise them right.
100%. 100%, baby. When you guys have a kid, will you teach it Swedish, Greek, and English?
What? I love this question.
Yeah, I know the answer, of course, but you answer.
Yeah, so I thought this out meticulously. Yes, it's the children will grow up speaking Swedish, Greek, and German, and of course, and learn English. But the languages spoken at home will be Swedish, Greek, and German. And I think it's going to be very much like I grew up, that only Greek with my mom, only German with my dad, and then at some point my mom started teaching me English, so I understood what my parents would be talking about from a certain age.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so she's Greek German, yeah. And to what I understand is like, I guess it seems like the science suggests that more than two languages is not good when a kid is growing up, yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
um, I don't really believe that that's that true.
Mm-hmm.
There just has to be a clear separation because,
Mm-hmm.
for example, there are children that are sent into English kindergarten where they learn Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like little kids that have nothing to do with China.
Mm.
So I think if it's done in a way that the languages are not intertwined in the brain, and then it's really very strict, like you speak Swedish to them and you only answer them
Yeah.
when they speak Swedish to you,
Mm.
the same to me. I grew up with 3 languages, so I think they could grow up with 3 languages and then add the others like I did. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be doing the Swedish. You'll be doing the Greek. German school is an idea because yeah, you are half German, but I know some German. It wouldn't hurt for me to improve it, and yeah, English whenever in school and stuff too. Yeah. Okay. What? Okay. Sheshes, a question for both. What's better, to be a delusional optimist or a realistic pessimist? So it's again, you like these either or questions, and I'm not an either or guy. It's like if I have to pick, I definitely think delusional optimist, because the delusional optimist might get burnt because they expected or thought too much, or took too big of a risk or something. But they're the only one that can actually reach the highest height because they dare to believe and go for things. While the realistic pessimists, they will be safe, but they'll keep themselves from ever getting the most out of things. So my answer is, if I have to pick, the delusional optimist, but it's a balancing thing. If you're too optimistic, like always, like, no, everything is going to work out, you're going to learn that it doesn't. You're going to get burnt. But if you're always pessimistic, you do this, you keep yourself from the good things. So balance, keep your expectations in check. It's like, I can be optimistic about something, but still be realistic. It's like when we talked about when you apply for jobs in your industry, it's it's quite terrible, certain things about not the actual like art form, but the business. Yeah. And when you had one job that it seemed everything they were telling you, it sounds great, and I'm like optimistic because I know you're happy, you've been doing well, but I'm realistic knowing how these people and the business works. And therefore, when you got some unfortunate news, I was like, yeah, that sucks, but I was prepared for that. So you see, balance.
Yeah.
For you now, yeah, question for Uncommon Wife. You don't have to go into full details if you don't want to, but would you describe yourself as more left-leaning or right-leaning or maybe centrist?
So I think that especially now after the Epstein file situation, people should start realizing that those are truly of the same bird, left wing and right wing.
Oh yeah.
But I am conservative. So just purely because of that, if we're to strictly talk about political directions, of course I'm more right wing than left wing. But I don't care about those.
No, and I'm very much the same. That I guess according to the current paradigm, I know that my viewpoints would fall more under right wing, but that's more like, yeah, well, I don't really accept to be included in that anyway. So yeah, I'm conservative or traditional, but I'm also not like that. I want to go back to something from before. Is that I don't think progress for progress's sake and equalizing everything is good. So yeah, no, but I think that's a great answer. That is like, well, like I would say, if I'm to be judged by the current paradigm, I guess more right wing, but I don't really care to identify like that. Here's a good one: how to cope with the fact that evil exists in the world, Sometimes I stumble upon brutal, scary content, and it's hard not to feel the world is just dark and unfair.
Yeah, you have to answer this because we talked about this literally yesterday, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about the Epstein files,
Mm.
and that this is so gut wrenching for me, and that it's just so terrible to even deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But if I ask you, what did I say that stood out to you then?
well, that it just exists in the world, and that these people do exist,
Mm.
but that ultimately you have to strive towards being as good as you can,
Mm.
and also trying to consume as little of that stuff that shows evil behaviors that especially doesn't have to do with your proximity,
Mm.
because it will never benefit you in any way.
Mm.
So yes, there's evil in the world, and there's tremendous evil,
Mm.
especially when you think about people harming children.
Yeah.
But all you can do to deal with that is accept that it exists,
Mm.
and do the best that you can to be good and to counteract that in your sphere as much as you can.
Mm. No, completely. And I think I take a sort of, that's why I think this about, I talk a lot about this last year about acting from values, that I take a certain, not only pride, almost like, because there is evil and oh, everything is so dark, it's so terrible, all these people, they do this and that. How can this be? How can the world be like this? Well, it is. So like you have to accept it. But then I almost like rejoice because I can be an opposing force to it. It's like, yeah, I cannot alone just eradicate evil, but I can choose to be team good and fight it.
Exactly.
So, I'm not happy about the evil that happens to people, but I'm happy that I have the choice to fight against it. And one thing that makes me very happy about evil is that evil is of the lie, okay? But good is of the truth. It's like God. God and truth is kind of synonyms, and Satan is of the lie. So the beautiful thing is that a lie can never hold up. You can lie, you can pretend that something is a certain way, for you can fool people, deceive, but there comes a point where the house of cards just has to fall.
Yeah.
So that's why I have, and I don't even feel like it's naive, this belief that everything will work out in the end. It's not sunshine and rainbows on the way there. And I think that I've been where you've been, so like stumble on scary content or just follow that, just like getting buried in how dark everything is. But I think one thing is also when you feel powerless. First of all, you take on the entire world's like problems on your shoulders. That's going to be too much even for like an almost godlike person, right? The entire world. But then also maybe if you feel that you are powerless in your life, now this is going to feel so much more like I just have to accept this fact. While me, for example, now I feel that I'm not going to be the one that all the people in the Epstein files. I'm not going to be the one that goes and put those people away or something, but I can have a good effect on the world. I could technically be a person that influences someone that actually does these things, right? So now I believe I can have a positive influence on the world. That it just makes me happy that I get to fight the evil. Yeah.
That was very beautifully said, Danny.
Thank you, baby.
And it's also what you said. If someone in the chat or listening, watching, is Christian and believes exactly what you said is also in the Bible, that we know who wins in the end, and it is God. It's truth and goodness.
Yeah, and isn't that part of the definition of love, like the power or force that conquers all?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Shasha said sometimes true strength is crying. Exactly. If you had a need to cry as a human being, but you're too much of a coward because you're afraid of being perceived as weak, is that strong to not cry? Or is it strong to cry anyway? Yeah, okay. There's silly stuff. This is life. Oh, thanks so much, guys, for reading my comment and answering it. He was the person, about how did you deal with
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. No, you're welcome, man. It was, and I wanted to respond to that. Dang, what happened to the booty? It's like I think it's a troll with several accounts. Classic on the live streams. Where were we? Anieka's had to go. Glad you found your wifey. Well, if you watched the rest of it, it was nice to see you, and thank you for that. Hello from Cyprus. Yeah. Rest in peace, absence. We barely knew you. Um, yeah. Okay. Super says, what happens to you, bro? It's like it's the same troll, I'm sure. That just says random stuff. Danexu, är du helt svensk eller har du några andra gener? You ask if I'm completely Swedish or have any other genes. Well, I'm ein Viertel Deutsch. I'm a quarter German, so I guess still Aryan. Yeah. Um, my last name is French, but that's from it's like 500 years old. But yeah, I'm mostly Swedish. I look quite Swedish. Yeah. That's well. Where to find like-minded people? Yeah. I mean, where are you at? Where are you at? No, but it's like-minded people. It could be around here. If I get around to it's more a question about when. But when someone like me does a community site, part of the idea for me with that, not the only, I would want it to be an online thing, but I would want people to be able to connect. If it's an international thing and you find the person in this community online, you're in the same area, that you could actually connect. But other than that, it's like-minded people. Like one good friend of mine now, I am friends with him because I overheard some things he was talking about in the gym, kind of not so politically correct things, and I like that. So I just took one time. I said that I just walked up to him like, I've heard some things you talk about. I just want to say hi, and we became like gym friends for a while then, and then we started like seeing each other outside. Do sun every once in a while. He invited me to some poker games. We catch up here and there. That's one example. Some people even like social media. If Andreas, that I've had on my podcast, and Henrik too, both of them, they are Swedish, but they live in different cities, and I only know them because of reaching out on Instagram and even suggest like, hey, can I come visit you? So you see, uh, places where they could be, like the gym, for instance, or whoever it is, but you see them on social media. I think a big thing, this is when on my podcast with natural hypertrophy, we talked about this, that there's probably a fear of rejection in this, that you reach out like, hey, would you want to be friends? And it's like, no, go away. And I realized when we talked about that, yeah, when I asked guys like natural hypertrophy and like Jeffrey to be on my podcast, I had this little like, I won't feel good if I get like rejected now. So I can understand that. But it's like with anything in this life, you have the risk of a failure or of losing or of it going the way you don't want it to go. That's often like that's part of the calculation. That's yeah, that's just part of the game, that you have to take some risks to get to where you want. So see, I hope that's enough, that you have to think of where could I possibly meet people, and then actively do. Then they're not going to come up to you and like, hey, do you want to be friends? I mean, if you're lucky, if you seem interesting enough. But you see, yeah. Yeah, it's like the same guy with many troll accounts. I don't think I used to have. It was one very persistent troll that also I saw in many like natural hypertrophy in Jeffrey's comments. I don't think it's him unless all his old accounts are banned. He had so many, but I could usually recognize their typing style. So Jack, what are you going to do to minimize your kid being indoctrinated, since homeschooling is illegal in Sweden and you have to send your kid to school to avoid troubles with social services, socialtjänsten? Yeah. Well, you answer. Let me clear my throat.
So it's the same in Germany, and if I'm not mistaken, in Greece, that you're not allowed to not send your kid to school. So in order to not have your child taken away by Child Protective Services, I would find the best possible school, and yes, private school, to send the children to, and make sure that, of course, they have very strong convictions and values and understandings of the world from within the house, so that whatever indoctrination happens at school cannot do any harm. That's my opinion with that, and I think that's the only thing that you can do if you want to stay in these countries. I mean, we could go to the US, but I wouldn't really want that.
I don't think so.
So there's that, and of course to pay attention that you really know what's going on in your child's life. Not to be a helicopter parent, but to know what's going on in the classrooms, also to know the families that their friends come from, and to have a very strong community, meaning that you have friends whose children your children are friends with, so that you have your tribe basically, and that yes, school is kind of a necessary evil that they just have to finish and to go through because of the countries that we live in. That's what I would do. But
no, and I don't have too much to add to that. What I can add this, that I've thought about sometimes, what would I do if I have to be here, for example? Let's say I just make up a scenario now that I have to put them in public school too, and I'm going to be here. I would do a lot of the part that you were talking about, that I would like talk to my kid about, like, so what did you do in school? What did they talk about? And I would instill my values, and then I would, when I hear something that's been said that I'm not a fan of, I would, in the simple, it depends on the age of the kid, of course, but I would try to make the kid understand that, look, there are going to be certain things that they teach you that we don't agree with, and it's just the case, kind of like, this is how I actually see things.
And also why we don't agree with them. So
of course.
talk to the child like an actual human being and make them see what is logical and why we are against XYZ. So so that it's a joint decision basically.
100%. Axel K says, sorry to hear about the roids. Big krya på dig. So krya på dig is like get well. So thank you for that, Axel. This is Life 991 says, uncommon wife sounds very intelligent. Definitely. 100%. Smart maybe. Etvan says that Åland is good for homeschooling. Yeah. That's interesting. More but. Theo, I haven't followed all your fasting journeys, but have you ever fasted for longer than 1 or 2 weeks a month? I fasted for 7.5 days, the longest. But one thing I realize a lot about this question too is that how long you fasted, or
why?
No, but also it depends so much on your, like, I did a 7.5 day fast when I had like abs. I was probably in about the shape I'm in like now. Let's see, it's not the best lighting, but you see, I, not ripped, but definitely don't have too much fat on me either. Yeah. So 7.5 days for me was quite long at the time. But I don't know, you fast sometimes.
The longest I fasted in my life was 19.5 days. But saltwater fasting, electrolyte fasting. I've never done over a month, and I don't think I would actually.
No.
But like for me, it very much depends why you want to fast this long.
No, but he didn't really ask about how, you just asked about if I've done that, and then I ask you to.
Yeah, I've done like almost a month, I guess.
Yeah. This is kind of interesting. Chef asks, what does Uncommon Wife think about Jesse Lee Peterson? And did Coach Theo see the Sam Hyde Jesse Lee Peterson interview? So thank you so much for turning me on to that, because I gotta see that one. That. Oh, I did see it. I did. You mean when Sam Hyde had Jesse Lee on his show? No, that was pretty great, because Sam Hyde, that he can always be in control. He's gonna take charge of not the narrative, but sort of energetic current of the conversation. And he kind of did not know how to deal with Jesse, because Jesse kept asking him the same question, like, who are you, over and over. And Sam, instead of answering the question, he tried to figure out what the trick is or something. And he got like very flustered about that. And that was quite interesting, because you don't usually see Sam Hyde be like that. So I thought for a second that Sam Hyde had been on Fallen States. That would have been very interesting to see too. No, so I did actually see that. But yeah, baby, what do you think about Jesse Lee?
So I used to watch his show, and I loved.
Thanks to me, though, right?
Yeah, I loved it a lot after Theo had shown it to me, and also I have called in as you have.
Yeah, we called into the same show a long time ago. Like, if you go looking 5, 6 years back, you could find the stream where both of us are calling in.
Yeah. So I like him a lot, but I have to be honest, I haven't watched his show actively in years.
Mm.
But I loved a lot of what he said, and also I've been doing the silent prayer for years, and his guided silent prayer, like actually the file that I have is him guiding it. So I agree with many of the things that he says. Back in the day, even though I was never against Trump, even then I was more for Trump. But I kind of had a bit of an issue that he was so much in support of Trump when when he knew that basically anything worldly is not really the truth, and especially with politics and all that. But I like him. I like him.
No, I love Jesse, and I'd say I think Jesse shines on the more like spiritual and personal plane when he like starts grilling people. Have you forgiven your mother? It's like that's when he really, yeah, that's his A game. I think when it comes to politics, he usually knows like who's the good or bad guy, but he's a little bit of a boomer there sometimes. Like not the typical boomer. I mean, just kind of literally that. Jesse, you're just not quite up to speed with this particular thing, I'd say. So since I don't need to have someone be perfect or exactly like I would want them to, like their opinions and stuff for me to like them. I love Jesse. I think the way I see Jesse is like a great spiritual warrior, actually. So also asked who had an ass surgery. Well, that was me. Go check my latest video. Jack asks, have you encountered a masculine Swedish man in real life? I think the time I remember encountering a Swedish man that was somewhat more masculine was in high school when I had him as a gym teacher. Well, I'd say again, my friend Andreas is very Swedish and very masculine. I'd say he's the most, depends on how you look at it, but the most masculine man I met. But the funny thing, what he's lacking in his masculinity is more about not being feminine enough when it's necessary, actually. Like like men, he's not very good at expressing what's going on inside of him all the time. Like he can say that he's feeling like shit, but if you try to understand why, it's going to be difficult. But he's extremely strong, extremely virtuous. And Henrik, our mutual friend, he's also quite masculine man. So I mean that they exist. I mean, I have friends like even the guy I told you that I met in the gym. He's not all masculine, but he is very masculine. He's a very no nonsense guy. So I think it's also we don't have to. I know in a way I'm a little bit of like, how should I say? Not stereotype, but oh, I'm big and jacked gym guy. It's like you don't have to be that to be a masculine man. Like I of course think all men should train and have a decent physique and be healthy and strong, but you see what I mean? It's gonna be like more blatant, like stereotypical masculinity with certain people. And then you have my friend I mentioned. He's very small. He's fit. The abs. He has the shape on his body, but he weighs. I probably have like 25 kilos on the guy. But I still think he's very masculine, yeah. So, and even to be honest, take a guy like my dad that my girl here now knows too. Certain things about him are very masculine, like just how extremely caring. Yeah, I've always known that I can count on my dad, even when things have been bad. That it's like, well, he would show up, even if he looks angry. I can't. He's not good at expressing how he feels either. He would show up. He would be there, and then he's a bit too soft in certain ways. So, oh, 100%. But that's what I've understood about the men on that side of the family. That my dad, uncle, and my granddad, they have huge hearts, and they will show up. but they are not very good at verbalizing, expressing this always outwardly. So yeah, man, you see, if I take someone like my friend Andreas, he's a very more like typical masculine man. I think he's very masculine, but it's not either or, right? It's how masculine, in what sense. So I think we're running out here soon. If you ask something more before we go, you can take it. But the last thing here, I mean, Danexu, how did you meet? Or met, but meet. Yeah, well, I've talked about that in videos before, but basically, you found me, my YouTube, when it was very, very small, slid in my DMs. First, we were just chatting, and I didn't think too much about it because I was chatting with other people that were into fasting and stuff. And when you were gonna delete the Instagram, you asked for my number, and we got to know each other first on distance. Started the twin flame journey, and here we are. So, yeah. K. Amarin, was the ass surgery expensive? No, I have to pay some kind of fee. That's like $40 to just be admitted into the emergency, but then it's free healthcare, Sweden. So it wasn't expensive. This is Life 991. I can't super chat for whatever reason because of the currency setting or something. I don't think I can always, when I do streams, receive super chats in any currency. I mean, if you want to support, you could. You can always message me and send somewhere else on like PayPal or something. But yeah, I'll just stick around for a little bit now because we do have some time. We're gonna go see my parents quickly, but we have some time before, so I'll just chill a little bit. Do you have any thoughts right now, baby?
No, I just put the chocolate cake into the
Mm.
oven.
You see, when I told her that we're gonna go to my parents, she has to bake a cake because we can't show up empty-handed. It's like I'm saying it as I'm making fun of you now, but I think this is great. I just think it's like it's not necessary every time. It's not that it's expected or something, but it's very sweet, very nice. Well, if you'd like to say, I'm just to this guy, I'll write it. I have osuntfornuft@gmail.com. It's uncommon sense, osunt förnuft. That is the PayPal. If you'd like to send there. But I understand sometimes these things. Just know I've also been denied to super chat when I've tried to at some point. So. We'll wait at least to 120. We're at 117.30 now. I guess I can munch on this, do the mukbang video now. We could do some serious mukbang streams when I'm bulking. Yeah.
I made like a pasta casserole thing, but should we bring this over to the pasta? No.
If you want to, but I would be happy if you would prepare a little food for me.
Yeah. I actually made it because I thought you wanted
to have one. But like, how ready is it? Because
it's like ready.
Okay. This is nice. You gave me the wet wipes, but they get sticky. I was gonna say.
Now, this is very typically Greek. The feta with the filo.
Yeah, I've eaten the feta with honey, like only that. I bought like feta and just poured honey on it. She's like, what do you say? She's looking at me all like, she's fangirling. King of the Castle said, you will develop grain brain. Warning there. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't eat too many grains, and I do fasting. I clean out in between. So, I think sometimes it's more dangerous to be scared of eating certain foods than actually eating them, like in moderation, of course. I do so well with sugar. I love sugar.
That's so funny today when you were, I think, what were you drinking? Your juice or something? Yeah. You were, sugar is so healthy.
Yeah, because it tastes so good, and it's in nature. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's not that concentrated in nature, So.
But it's the honey.
Is honey as concentrated as granulated sugar and glucose?
But it can't be too different. It's all sugar. It's only sugar, basically,
Huh.
and water and some other
Yeah.
things, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, guys, we're gonna jump off soon. Give you a minute or two, maybe ask a last question if you want. But it's been a fun stream, I think. I think when that's only you're gonna leave on Friday, unfortunately. But the only good thing about that is, I guess I could do this when you're around, but I feel more okay, I guess, about sitting and watching the streams and maybe taking out some clips, you know. Mm. Okay, guys. No, it seems like we're dying out here. Oh well. Then let's just end it here. We'll end it now. Well, thank you for this one, guys.
Yes.
I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
Great. Well, guys, I have a video, but I'll probably publish it on Friday about, well, basically how I trained the first time now after the surgery. So it's specifically about that, but some ideas about training when you're in some kind of deficit injury or the like. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Being a picky eater is definitely lame. So being able to eat junk without nerding out about it is definitely an end goal. Same guys that said about the grain brain said, yeah, totally, man. Okay, guys. Thank you for the day. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.